Awesome, we've now made it through the entire course. Let's spend just a minute or two reviewing what we've gone over. More importantly though, I want to talk about some of the next steps and what you can do to continue growing both as a designer and as a motion designer. We've spent over an hour discussing the different types of motion already. I expect you have a pretty good handle on them by now, so I'll just run through them pretty quickly. Conversational motion is motion that allows you to get other folks involved in the design process. It can look like sketches, prototypes, or even just be actual conversations. But it's basically any way you use motion to communicate with your team or test concepts with users. Functional motion is any motion that improves usability. This includes things like user education, notifications, or indicating progress. Third, we have structural motion. Structural motion gives our products a sense of depth and dimension. It can be a great way to show how elements are grouped or connected. As design gets flatter, it provides some indicators that may have been lost otherwise. Finally, emotional motion breaks down into two parts. The first is motion that conveys a product's culture, brand, or message. This can be done through obvious things like animated characters or through more subtle animation of individual elements. Emotional motion also includes empathizing with users, celebrating with them at large success points, and providing guidance at challenging parts of the user experience. These four motion types can have huge benefits to users, businesses, and to us as designers. Users get more enjoyable experiences and more usable products, while businesses are able to communicate better amongst themselves and with their users. As designers, we can use motion to improve our skills, our careers, and our products. I know there's a lot of content in this course, so as I mentioned at the beginning, it may be valuable to go through it twice, once with the sample project and then once with your own project. I certainly don't think this is the only place for great motion design content or inspiration though, so if that doesn't really sound enjoyable to you, I definitely encourage you to seek out additional resources elsewhere. Regardless of where you go to find inspiration, I think it's important to have a community of other folks to ask questions, answer questions, and share and collaborate. I've joined pretty much all of the design Slack groups out there. There are definitely some great resources and some awesome people in them, but I've found that a lot of these groups can be overwhelming because of how large they are and how fast they move. Because of that, I've created a Meaningful Motion UI Slack group. To keep the focus on quality and connection, the only place I'm going to be sharing it for right now will be with folks like you who have completed the course. Even though the course has been completely focused on motion, the community will be a bit more general than that. We'll still have lots of great conversations around motion, but I want to be able to talk about design in general, freelancing versus full-time, design systems, and even how things like finances and health relate to being a designer. I'm certainly still learning every day, and I know that there's a lot I can learn from you. I really hope you learned something going through this course, and I'd love to have you be a part of the Meaningful Motion UI community. Just hit the link below or type in the URL, and I'll see you in Slack.